Okay. Hi, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kim Bash. And if you recognize the accent, I am from South Africa. I am currently living and very blessed to be living in the old city of Jerusalem, where I have been living for the last 20 years. Unfortunately, though, my Hebrew is not so great. So I know it's a little embarrassing, but it's a place where a lot of people speak English, and I never really just mastered the Hebrew language. So I have people that work with me, amazing people on this call tonight, Avrami and Brocha Miriam, who are part of my team that help me all the time with my translations and helping me with anything that I need that is Hebrew. But yes, for those of you who are worried about the language, you can be in Israel, live in Israel, and lead a very successful life and a full life without speaking the language. Although I do suggest to those of you who don't speak Hebrew to even start an Orpan now and start learning the language before you come, whether you're coming for Aliyah or even visiting. It's always good to know Hebrew. So this is the fourth time that we are actually featuring the area of Carmei Gat. I started working in the real estate business about 15 years ago, and I was working in the luxury real estate market for many years. And I am very passionate about Israel. And after being in my firm for about 7 years, I really felt that I wanted to do much more than just sell real estate to very wealthy people. I wanted to make real estate affordable to every single person who wanted to come and buy in Israel, live in Israel, whether it's for aliyah, investment, or holiday home. So I basically started pivoting on what I was doing and started a series called Find Me a Community in Israel. And this we started during Corona, when people were unable to come to Israel because everything was closed down. The whole country was closed down. So we started this series, and it was very well received because we were bringing Israel to people. And we have done over 45 different communities all over Israel. And when people weren't able, as I said, to make pilot trips, they used this as a platform to learn about different areas in Israel. And if anybody would like to check that channel out, it's on YouTube under Kim Bash. So you can look it up. We've covered some incredible places. And Carmei Gat was the very, very first place that I featured in 2020, just after Corona, I think 2019, so end of 2019. 2020. And we have helped many, many people move to Carmei Gat, and we love the community. It has a lot going for it, and we're very excited because already we're on phase 2 of Carmei Gat. So thank you all for coming on tonight. How it's going to happen is I have a little presentation we're going to share with you tonight. Then we have an amazing new project that we want to offer you to the people on this call. It's a pre-sale opportunity for a new project in the new area, as we're calling phase 2 of Carmei Gat. And then tonight we also have two people who are currently living in Carmei Gat who are asked to come on to speak a little bit about their experience of living in Carmei Gat. And then we have our fabulous in-house lawyer, real estate lawyer, Yitzhak Teller, who will just talk a little bit about the legality of buying a property in Israel. And then we'll open it up to anybody who has questions. So I'm going to start with our presentation. Just make sure I can share the screen. Sorry, everybody. Okay, can you all see my screen? Yes, Avrami? Hands, yeah? Good.
Yes,
Okay,
looking
this
good.
is just our little logo over here. Okay. And a little bit about myself, which I've already shared with you. For me, it's just very, very important to reiterate that for me, a house is just a house. But when you find your community, that's when you find your home. And I really feel for people to successfully integrate into living in Israel, making Aliyah, It's so important to know where you're going to end up, who your neighbors are going to be, and really find the right place for you. Okay, so one of the things that I get asked all the time is, Kim, we really want to make Aliyah, but we don't know where to go to. We know Renana, we know Tel Aviv, we know Jerusalem, we know Modin, but where else? Where will we fit? Where will we fit in? And this is something that we offer completely free. You can call me up, we can have a chat, a schmooze. You'll tell me your criteria, what you're looking for. And I really do know Israel very, very well. And I try and help people figure out where they want to come, and also to try and plan with them pilot trips of where, if they're coming on a pilot trip, where to focus on. So one of the things we always talk about is religious level, like where, if you want to be in a more traditional environment, if you're more religious, secular, whatever it may be, I know where those areas are, where I can help and guide you. Do you want to be more integrated into the Israeli society, or you want to be more with Anglos? If you want to be near the beach, or you want city living. So that's very, very, very important. Also, if you're coming with a family, if you could be coming with children, what kind of schools are you looking for? If you're going to be looking for work, is the area that you're looking in have good public transportation, or will you need to buy a car? One of the things I say, there's nothing like coming and being in the area, going for a Shabbat, spending time in that particular area to really understand what it's all about. I always tell people, if you're going to come do a pilot trip, spend a Shabbat there, go visit a local shul, walk through the community, get to know people. Also, join Facebook groups. There are so many different Facebook groups now where you can speak to the locals, find out what's going on in the community. And I can help people as well connect with locals in each area, anywhere in Israel, most places in Israel. Okay, just going back 1 second. Okay, now let's talk about Carmei Gat. And we'll talk about where Carmei Gat is in a few minutes. But why is Carmei Gat so popular right now? It's because it's very affordable compared to, sorry, I'm just letting people in our waiting room. Hold on 1 second. Apologies. Okay, the price of the real estate in Carmei Gat is much more affordable than in other areas. Like Renana, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem. It's much more affordable. And there's much more benefits for people buying for discounted prices right now, because there are pre-sale opportunities. So some of the things that you do need to know, though, is that that as it becomes more popular, the prices are getting more and more expensive. And I'll just give you an example. When we showcased Carmei Gat 4 years ago, prices for a 3-bedroom apartment that we were selling were at about 1.3, 1.4 million shekels. 4 years later, those prices are now 2 million shekels, 2.2 million shekels, 2.4 million shekels. So as it becomes more well-known and more popular, the prices are going to go up. Hold on a second. Okay. So another reason why people really like Carmei Gat is because it's very well designed. Beautiful parks. They're actually building a whole man-made lake in this area as well. There are beautiful gyms, new buildings, new shopping centers, very clean. But what you also need to know, with this comes a lot of new construction. So it's not as pretty as it will be in about 5 to 10 years. It's not green yet. There's still a lot of construction going on. Even in the developed areas, there's buildings going on absolutely everywhere in Carmei Gat. Okay, in terms of travel time and where it is, okay, we have a little map over there. From Tel Aviv, you're looking at about between 35 minutes, depending on where you're coming from. And there is a train that leaves from Kiryat Gat. So Carmei Gat is like a suburb of the main area called Kiryat Gat. And you're looking at anything between 35 and 50 minutes by train and 50 to 60 minutes by car. Jerusalem, about 1 hour, slightly longer if you're coming by public transport. Modin, about 60 minutes. Beersheba, 35 minutes. And Herzliya, about 55 minutes. So it's like in the middle of the country, basically, and is very accessible to many, many areas. Okay, so it's a very warm, growing Anglo community. But I do have to tell you, it is not an Anglo community. It is a growing Anglo community. So there are lots of Anglos moving there, but you still have a lot of Israelis in the community. There's a lot of people who are very warm and welcoming, who will invite you over for Shabbases. They have a lot of, I think in America you have it as well, but like what they call social groups like B'nai Kiva, Ezra, where the children on Shabbat, for example, will get together. It's got a lovely community feel. There are, I don't know the exact numbers of how many Anglo families are there right now, but there are a lot of people that have bought that will be moving there in the next 2 to 3 years. And it's very, very, very welcoming. And again, I can set people up to speak to people locally, the local rabbis, the school teachers that are living there now, people in the community that are really embracing Olim coming into the community. But just that you know, because somebody said to me, Kim, it's very important that you tell everybody it is not an Anglo community. There is a growing Anglo presence in the community. Okay, now quickly, what I want to go through with everybody is, excuse me, when I talk to any client that's coming to Israel, whether it's Aliyah, investment, or holiday home, I always say to them, well, what is the goal of the purchase? Are you looking to get your foot in the door? Are you looking to make Aliyah? Or are you looking for the holiday home? So that's very important that whatever you do, that you understand, I need to understand what is that goal. Some people want to buy now because they do intend to make Aliyah, but not right now. So in the future, they want to have what I call their security blanket of having something in Israel. Also, we always talk about where do you want to buy? You need to understand where in Israel you want to live. Now, some people don't really know. If it's just an investment and you have no emotional connection to it, then I think anywhere you buy in Israel is very, very good. We also ask you what the criteria is. What's the budget? When I mean criteria, is how many bedrooms do you need? I always say to my clients, you cannot copy paste your life in America, in South Africa, in Australia, wherever you're coming from, to living in Israel. You can't bring the dining room table with you because everything's much smaller. You're living in an Israeli apartment. So things are much smaller here. And you have to adjust. So some things are, I always say, what are the non-negotiables? What are you willing to live with? What is important to you? So some people will say to me, well, they don't want to live in a very high building. It has to be on a low level. And for those people who are religious and don't take Shabbat elevators, then they don't want to be on a very high floor. Do you need a sukkah balcony? Is outdoor space very important to you? So then if it is, then you may have to look at something like a garden apartment or a penthouse, which is usually more expensive. So this is something that on our team, we work with very, very carefully to figure out what it is that you actually are looking for so we can send you the best possible opportunities. What happens when people call me? They usually come up and they say, okay, Kim, we're coming to Israel. These are the areas we want to look at. And then I will set them up with different agents that we work with all over the country. And we will do a tour with you to take you to all these different places, depending on where you want to be. We work with, or as I said, all areas in Israel, and we co-broker, meaning we work with the agents who are local and on the ground. So they know the properties better than anybody else because they are local. And then we also set you up. We have a team of lawyers, mortgage brokers, whatever you need in order to make the whole transaction very, very easy. By the way, we had many people, and we still do, who are buying without coming to Israel. You can do it. I have sold many, many properties over WhatsApp, especially during the Corona years. And then basically we have contract signing. We'll go into all the details, and it's a mazel tov once you get the keys. And sometimes even before that, some of our clients are buying properties 2 or 3 years down the line. They won't see them until they actually come. Okay, the cost of buying a home in Israel. So this is something I get asked all the time. On top of any purchase in Israel, any real estate you will buy, you will have closing costs. And the closing costs are standard. The only thing that is different is something called purchase tax. Now, purchase tax is dependent on your status when you buy the property. If you are a new immigrant, an Israeli, or a foreign buyer. So foreign buyers, let's say you're just buying as an investment, you're not intending to live here, you are automatically taxed on a higher bracket, which is off the bat 8%. If you are a new immigrant, they want to encourage you to come, so you pay as low as 0.5%. And these are all things that our lawyers would go over with you. There are realtors fees. Now in Israel, a buyer and a seller can both pay a realtors fee, and that is 2% plus VAT of 18%, as well as lawyers fees, which are 1%. You can also mortgage. A foreign buyer can mortgage up to 50%. If you do make aliyah and you become a new immigrant here or buying as an Israeli, you can borrow up to 70%. But these are all things we can do with you privately, give you people to speak to who can help you through the whole process. Okay, this is one of the projects that we're going to be talking about, which I'm going to pass over to Liat. It's a phenomenal new development that is coming up, as I said, in phase 2 of Carmei Gat, which is not far from the current area of Carmei Gat, which Liat will explain. And that's basically it. I'm going to introduce to you Liat and Lior. I don't know where Lior is. Okay.
Yeah, we are here.
Okay.
Hi,
Oh,
everyone.
okay. I just want to point out to everybody that Lior is currently in Milowim, and
Yeah.
hence you can see that he's in his army uniform. And I just want to take the opportunity, Lior, to say thank you for your service and thank you for everything that you do. And
Thank you.
Hashem should protect you and all of our soldiers, and you should just be safe. And thank you again for coming on tonight, which is so incredible. Yeah, thank you so much.
Amen.
Okay,
Thank you. And Liat is here. So Liat is the professional from Cardan on the project, so she can give all the information. Liat.
okay. You're on mute, Liat. Hold on, let me tell her. Hold on.
That's it.
Oh,
That's
there you
it.
are.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. And thank you for being here. As Kim said very nicely about Carmei Gat, if I can add a few more words about it. I live in Carmei Gat and I work as a realtor for 16 years. And I remember Carmei Gat as a field, a yellow field with nothing. And I think that I was the one who sold to many Anglos the first grains in the neighborhood around, I don't know, 9 or 10 years ago. And as said Kim very wisely, people want to be with the community. It doesn't have to be community by religion, only by this, term, but to feel like I'm part of something. And I've seen how those families came to Israel and they came to Carmei Gat from nowhere. I really remember them. Some of them are my neighbors. And that reminds me the sentence, when you want to see a change, be the change. So those families, they came together, couples, and with their friends, and they become a community, because to have a community, you have to start with something. And in the last 3-4 years, it was really increasing, amazing. I mean, every couple who came, Anglo couple, he brought 5 more, and so on and on and on. And in the last year, I think that 50% of the people who come to see properties in Carmei Gat are from abroad, Anglo speakers. So I don't know if it's not yet a community, Kim. I really see the community. I can see them walking from shul on Saturday, going to do kiddush everywhere with their friends and family, and every chagim they are looking for properties on Airbnb because they have all the family who come, and it becomes more and more, the demand is bigger, okay? So I think the good thing in Carmei Gat, just to let you know, is because it's really in the middle of Israel. I mean, we are south, but if you take the map and you fold it, it's exactly in the middle. So as Kim said, it's around 40, 50 minutes maximum to any big city in Israel. And it's great. Not only Anglos people come over here, but also people from the center, from Tel Aviv, from Ra'anana, from Modi'in, not only Americans and Anglos, they come to buy here because it's a good neighborhood with a lot of green around, many parks, many new public services for the people. And the children are very, very happy to be here, and the education is good. And many people buy not only for living, also for investment. As we say, live where you want. And I mean, I always say you can live where you want, but you can buy where you can. So as Kim said, sometimes to buy in Jerusalem or in Ra'anana or in Modi'in is too expensive. We have another alternative to buy in Carmei Gat, and the prices rise up every time, we can see. So let me show you our lovely project. Just a second. I'll share it to you. Where is it?
What I just want to add there, Liat, is that it's not a community, but one of the people that saw me like posting about the Zoom tonight was like, called me up and said, we just want to make people understand that you're not just they're not just Anglos here, there are Israelis here. So
yeah, they're
it's
mixed
very
together. We're
important.
friends.
Yeah, but it's just important to know that it's not necessarily this Anglo bubble. It's not like Ramat Beit Shemesh or
Yeah, it's
Renana, where
different.
you walk in the streets, you're going to hear Hebrew as well in the streets.
Yeah, it's different. And I think the most beautiful thing that we really live together. Do you see the presentation?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So Carmei Gat
Can you make the
actually
screen, can you make it bigger at all?
bigger. I don't know, where is it? My God, just a second. I think this presentation is the
Okay. Can everybody see?
can't
It's a
do it.
little small, but we'll send
It's
it
fine.
out
I think
otherwise.
I think you can try downloading it if it doesn't take a long very
Trying
long, and then
to
it's full screen. But then if that doesn't work,
just a
Oh, yes,
second.
we can just
I don't know.
okay.
okay, don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay,
Yeah.
We'll send it
so
out. We'll send it out to everybody
100%.
either.
I
Change
can
the Zoom
send
from
you
100%.
afterwards the presentation. The presentation
They
is
have Kim
it's
Evans.
just
She can
have a
share with them
background.
after that.
Yeah,
It's
I'm going
only
to
for
send
the
it to all of
background.
you.
Okay, and
Okay,
this to
no
Kim.
worries.
She can share with them.
Okay,
Okay, no problem.
a few words about Carmei Gat. I mean, the first phase we had, yes, where most of the people live right now. Carmei Gat is the first neighborhood who was built by Heskem Gag. Heskem Gag is actually the government is giving budgets, big budgets, to build all the public area, all the parks, all the schools, all the pavements, everything before the first people come to live in the house. I mean, if usually when we buy a house in a new project, we are like living in a construction area and it's all dirty and not easy to live there. In the Eskemei Gag, it's different. Before you get the key to your property, the whole public area is already done. And at the first pace in Carmei Gat, people didn't believe. They didn't believe it will happen. They said, we know the government and the budget. They just say it won't succeed. but actually it succeeded. It was very, very, I mean, good sample for all other cities in Israel. And people got their properties and they were very quickly, they had the equity. I mean, the prices rise up because everything was ready. People wanted to rent apartments here and they wanted to buy, and suddenly the whole area around with the parks and the sport tech, you should really come and see. It's really amazing. People come in Ben Azmanim from all over Israel to our park with buses, with families, because they're happy they didn't see that kind of park. Yeah, it's a very big one. So the second phase was immediately after the first one. I mean, they signed it up, but only in the last month we can really see the neighbor. If you will come here, or if you want to make a video with me also, Kim, if someone cannot come and you want me to show him by the phone, I can show you that the new neighborhood is already divided into the lots, and the road is already fine. I mean, in 4 years, we're going to be in the same situation we had in Carmei Gat after 4 years. So now we're selling the green bananas. Do you know what's green bananas? When you go to the super and you buy green bananas, this is the time to buy the green bananas. It will be in good price and in good terms, but you'll have you can see it becoming yellow very, very quickly. So our project is, just a second, I'll go down here. Okay, there are many words about. You can see the whole area of Carmei Gat, North Carmei Gat. This is north. I mean, up here is north, and here is, if some of you already heard about Reisdor Center, I mean, commercial center is around here. It's a big commercial center and here it starts. I mean, here we begin with Carmei Gat, with North Carmei Gat. And the whole neighborhood is going to be with buildings, no villas, no du mishpachti, and so on. And the big thing is the train station that is going to be here in the neighborhood, inside the neighborhood. Right now we have train station in the old area of Kiryat Gat. It's not so far from Carmei Gat, but you cannot walk from them. I mean, it takes around 30 minutes walking. But in the new neighborhood, we're going to have train station. So we know that everywhere in the world, when you are close to a train station, you can increase the price, and it will be easy for people to work also in Tel Aviv and wherever they want, and to go with 35 minutes. I mean, the fastest train is 35 minutes, and the
Longest.
lowest one is 50 minutes. So it's really very nice. In 35 minutes, I'm in Israeli. It's very nice. As you see,
sorry, Liat, I just want to add something. Sorry to bother you. The train, it's in the neighborhood, but it's not next to the building. I mean, you have the train next to you, but you don't have the noise from the train because it's not on the building, okay? It's just next to our building. There is more building between us and the train. It's important to know.
Yes, these are our buildings. Anyway, Lior, there's not going to be noise because they built an acoustic area for that. It's very well done. I mean, the neighborhood is very, you can
well
come.
planned.
Yeah, it's well planned. We can see it. Anyway, those 5 lots, as you see, 318, 317, 31. Yeah, these are our lots. We have one on the east side, one on the west side, the 304, 212. We have different levels of, building. We have 7 levels and 8 and 12, and we have 3 bedrooms. No, 2 bedrooms, sorry. We say shlosha chadarim, but it's two bedrooms and 3 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms and penthouses and garden, 3 bedrooms apartments, very beautiful. We don't have a lot of them, only a few. All the buildings, they got Maalit Shabbat, because in Kiryat Gat there is no building with no Maalit Shabbat. I mean, when they have 2 elevators, one of them is Maalit Shabbat. In Carmei Gat, there are some buildings right now. We have 3 elevators, and 2 of them is with Maalit Shabbat, because people, there is a demand. We have commercial area almost in many places around our buildings. There is a big demand of that in Kiryat Gat. Yeah, people do not like it in the center, but in Kiryat Gat, people like it because they have everything close to their house, the bakery and the coffee shop, and it's very nice for us. I mean, it's new in Kiryat Gat, this kind of building. So usually all Carmei Gat around, I mean, around the neighborhood, it's kibbutzim and moshavim. We don't have other city stick to us. So I think from any building, from any high level, you can see green, okay, from all the agriculture around from the moshavim, okay? I can show you different, I mean, just to see how the building looks. We have 2 bedrooms, a very big one, 81 to 84 meters square, with balconies 10 to 12. We have 3 bedrooms, all more than 100 meters square. I mean, 101, 103 meters square, and the balcony is 12 to 17. And the 4 bedrooms, which I think is the most, I mean, the most, it will be the most popular. If I think in 4 years, what will people will ask for in Carmei Gat? I think it will be the 4 bedrooms. And why? Because there is not, we are not going to have any lots for villas, for family house. No, in Kiryat Gat, there's not going to be any opportunity to buy a lot and to build and to construct your home. So if there's no lot and no family houses, so people has to buy the 4 bedrooms, which are the biggest one, 125 meters square, and the balconies are 12 to 17. And we have storages in many apartments, big storages. I mean, it starts with almost 7 meters square, and we have even one storage 16 meters square. I mean, it's like a shop, 16 meters square.
Sorry to pause for a second. Does every apartment come with the storage room and a parking? Is it like the 1 bed? Do you have 1 or 2 bedrooms that have also, or just the bigger apartments?
Good question. Parking place, each apartment gets a parking place. 4 bedrooms, 90% of them, they got 2 parking places. Some of them are Turkish, I mean, one after the other, and some of them are 2 units. And about storages, around 80% of the properties are with storages. Usually the 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, also in 2 bedrooms we have storages in some of them. Yeah.
What about areas like if you don't have a sukkah balcony, is there going to be like a communal area that people can put up a sukkah?
Telling you the truth, in Kiryat Gat and Carmei Gat nowadays, we have a very small amount of sukkahs, balconies, but what people do, and in the last Sukkot, people build their sukkahs downstairs in the
gardens,
all the area around, because all the parking place is in underground, so they have a lot of green areas around the buildings. In the last Sukkot, I've seen around every building 6 or 7 sukkot. It was very nice.
It happens in Jerusalem as well. There's sukkahs everywhere, on the sidewalks and everywhere.
Very nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's why I just want to point out to some people that are listening that the apartments that usually go the quickest, they will be more expensive, are going to be penthouses and gardens, because those are the areas that have a lot more outdoor space. So if that's a value for you, you will pay more for it, but those will always have a higher resale value than a regular apartment. So I always say to my clients that if you can push your budget, and nothing should ever take you to a place of stress, but you've got a longer runway of time with a payment schedule, because we'll talk about payment schedule, but here in some of these projects where you have linear payments, it gives you a longer runway of time to pay for the apartment. So sometimes you can push yourself a little bit more to buy a slightly bigger apartment, which will appreciate much more than a regular apartment.
Yeah. I said that when you buy on paper, you can win the cash on cash. I mean, you put the first amount, and while you're waiting, it's like if you plant something in land and you can see it growing up. So you earn this on this year's all the growth. Anyway, as you see, I'm just showing you the whole build. I mean, all the buildings we have. Most of the buildings are within 4 apartments on each level. Yeah, most of them. On every area, it's like, I mean, our 2 areas are like L, they're like that, and inside we have parks and a synagogue and kindergarten. I mean, it's all around inside the public area. So on every apartment you are close to, I mean, you can put your son in kindergarten or you go to shul, and it's around 2 minutes walking. Every area in Carmei Gat is like that. It's like a place with a public area around. So you don't have to walk, I don't know.
Very far.
Maybe they're building now a very, very nice synagogue for the Anglos. It calls Bnei Zion. They're planning it right now, a very big one. Maybe if you want to be in this show, so it never mind if it's near your house or not.
Is it close to, is there in these buildings that are being built now, is there going to be an area for, like you said, mentioned a synagogue? Is it going to be a central synagogue for all these buildings?
No, as I said, each group of buildings, I mean, in all Carmei Gat, it's planned like that. It's called Eruv Shimushim. We want to mix the use. I mean, to make people walk and not turn on their car and go and have traffic problems. So if you need a kindergarten, it's here around your house. If you need a bakery, it's here. You don't need to take a car and go out and have traffic problems. So that's the idea now. That's why we have train in the neighbors. So
yeah, it's amazing. It's a walkable lifestyle, so that if I mean, most people have a car, but you don't need to have a car if you're living in this area and your whole life becomes in this community.
And for your question about the synagogues, nowadays the shul for the Anglos is in Ort Carmei Gat. It's a high school where they daven there until they will get the new synagogue that they are building. But as I see it, from the last 2 months, so many Anglos are buying in Carmei Gat North from many places around the world. So I believe they will have even more synagogues for the community. I mean, זה ככה זה תמיד. They open one more and more. It depends on the people. And what I see new in the last year, the people who are coming, I see a new young couples. It was not, I mean, 5, 10 years ago, but now it happens. Young couples just got married and they buy an apartment in Carmei Gat. It's exciting. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's amazing. I see the growth so much. I remember when as I said before, that we'd sold even like cottages that were so much more cheaper, that same cottage now on the market is 5.5 million shekels that they paid I think 1.6 for at the time. So there's so much growth and so much opportunity, and I really, really believe in the community. I believe in this area. I think it's just it's very well planned, which I think is very, very important. It's made to work. And again, I just want to reiterate, a lot of people say, well, where can we find houses and where we can, in Israel right now, we're not building outwards, we're building up. So that's just, that we have a very small country, and there are no, as far as I know, land permits to build any semi-detached homes or homes in Israel. So those days are gone, and now it's all buildings. It's very hard to find single family homes or even cottages.
You're right. That's why I'm telling people everything that looks to you very expensive. You said, wow, it's so expensive. It was 1.3. Everything that you see expensive today in Israel, tomorrow will be cheap. I mean, tomorrow it will be cheap. It's always like that. I remember people who bought from me in 1.3 and they say, wow, it's so expensive. It was 900,000 a few years ago. And now if you ask them, I mean, it's 2 million, no less than that. 1 cent
Yeah.
less than that. And it goes up all the time.
Yeah. So can you just tell us a little bit, I don't know if you're there, but can you give us an indication for, these are just some of the beautiful renderings, just to
Very
know
nice.
that these are all renderings. It's basically showing you the visuals of what they're going to look like, some of the
According to
apartments.
plans, yes, according our plans. Very nice one. This
So
is the
just to
garden.
explain to people that when you're buying in any project, whether it's in Carmei Gat or any other city in Israel from a developer, you're buying according, to, you get a floor plan, you choose which apartment you want. But it's very important that you know that when you're buying in a project, there's no light fixtures, no closets, no appliances that come in the apartment. So these pictures are just for you to see, to visualize what can be in the apartment. But this is something that is very important that you understand, that you are going to have to add more to the apartment. Again, closets don't come. You have to put in, they give you a very nice kitchen, but a lot of people may upgrade their kitchen. And again, light fixtures as well. So when you're buying it, it's what we call a technical specification, which is attached to the contract, which means is that you'll get an apartment, it will have a kitchen, it will have bathrooms, you will have faucets, you'll have electrical outlets, you will have air conditioning, you will have whatever it comes with, but you will probably have to add to the apartment depending on what you want.
Yeah, you can also buy a secondhand, but it will be old and used. And I mean, it's also some people rather to, but I think that most of the Anglos they want to buy from developers. They want to buy new because they want their home styling. They want to add
Exactly.
with their taste. And sometimes they make changes during the building. I mean, they want to put a wall here as they used to in their homeland before. So it's like a creation from the beginning.
Look at the beautiful penthouse. Wow.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
the penthouse is beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful. Okay, the technical specification, it's also a good. I didn't say a few words about Cardan, yeah? We didn't talk about it, yeah? But I know many developers, and I worked with Gindi and Dimri and some of the developers here in the South. And I think that there's something very special in this company. First of all, for many years, they are very reliable, very, I mean, they have very good, good name. People talk good about Cardan all the time. And I just must say, I started working with them a year ago about planning the project. But the people in the company are so familiar, I mean, they take care about everything, and you can feel it during the process. The construction company is Cardan's company. I mean, it's not a developer who sells the house and bring a constructor, I mean, a foreign constructor, that there is no connection between them. I mean, the constructor is going to be by El Harar Group, which is a Chevrat Bat, yes, of Cardan. So they can be able to control the whole process. And now there's going to be a new service in the company, a very new one and very special one, that since you buy an apartment in Cardan, since the first day you sign, you have a person from the company which leads you during the whole process. You get his phone number until you get the apartment, and even afterwards with the responsibility for all the achrayut that you have after you get it. I mean, you have a name and a number of a person who leads you all the way, and it's special in Cardan now. They open like a new
Department, like a
department
service.
of
Yeah,
service.
customer service.
Customer
Customer
service.
service,
Amazing.
very
Customer service.
special. No developer in Israel have done it. I'm telling you.
That's amazing. Wow.
I mean, that's the spotlight, the company. I always say to people when they come to buy, זה לא חשוב מה אתה קונה, כמו ממי אתה קונה. Who are you buying from? It's more important sometimes than the product itself, because you feel at home. You feel like someone is with you, and not you bought and they forget you. I mean, you pay the money and they don't care about you. They're special in that. And I think that everyone who will buy here a property he will see it. And give them
And
my
Liat,
number if they
Liat, one thing
believe
I think is important to know, that the project is a bank guaranteed project. So
Yeah.
your money is safe. I know that a lot of people have said are very skeptical to buy on paper because they get nervous and they've heard horror stories of friends or people who've bought and there's been issues with the developer, but they are a very reputable company. And again, everything is bank guaranteed.
Bank guarantee, and it will be 99%. It's Bank Polim. 99%. It's almost signed up. Bank Polim is going to be the guarantee bank.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Can you give us like also an indication a little bit about pricing of properties, of the apartments, like estimated? We're not going to hold you to it. Also, you need to know for everybody listening that in any development, once you have your pre-sale prices and they reach a certain point that they've sold X amount of apartments, they will raise the price. So now is the opportunity for those of you who are serious. And a lot of my clients from previously bought with me before were like, we are so glad we got in when we did, because the prices become more and more expensive. The more they sell, then they will put up the prices. So again, this is the time for pre-sale and to get your foot in the door. So Liat, if you can just give us an estimate of what are we looking at for some of the apartments.
Okay, first of all, it's November. It's Black Friday. So good prices. No, just kidding. I was thinking about it, but I must tell you that it's so true. People who buy in the pre-sale, they can earn around sometimes it can be more than 5%. I mean, 1 month later. Always. On pre-sale, we sell 2 bedrooms, around 1.75, more or less. I mean, it could be a little bit less, a bit more, but I mean, in average. And 3 bedrooms, around 2,050,000, something like that. 2,050,000, a little bit less. And we have 4.5 bedrooms. It's an amazing product. I told Lior, I think that Lior wants to take one, right, Lior? I think Lior
What do you
wants
mean?
to
I
take
want to take one. How much
No,
are they?
Lior wants to take it. Lior wants to take it. And we have only 4 of these apartments. It's 4.5. I mean, it's 3.5 bedrooms. It's like 4 bedrooms.
What is it? A 3-bedroom with a smaller bedroom? What is it?
3 bedrooms, and the smallest one, it's not small. It's 10 meters square. It's not small, but they call this a small. It's 10 meters
So
square.
it's a 4-bedroom. And what's the price on these ones?
It's 2.260, 270, more or less. It's
Wow.
nothing. I mean, we have 3 bedrooms on these prices right now in Carmei Gat. It's amazing. And with a parking place and with the storage, it's amazing. It's amazing prices, I'm telling you.
Those are pretty incredible prices. So you're looking at about, just to give people an average of anything from $400,000, $350,000 to approximately $650,000, depending on which size you choose. And I'm sure that the gardens and the penthouses are going to be obviously more expensive.
Yeah,
What kind of pricing is the
The penthouses are more or less, the cheapest one is 3.45, and the most expensive is 3.95, something like that. And the garden, we have a 3-bedroom garden apartment. They are starting in 2.45 and until 2.95. And I want
those
to
are
tell you
excellent
about the lease.
prices.
Do you want to know about lease prices, about the rental prices? I mean, how
So you're saying that this project's also going to have rentals?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. There is such a small amount of investors lately. So I believe, and we see already in the neighborhood that we have a big lack of rental apartments. We don't have. I mean, if you go now on Yad Time and look for rental, you won't find. And even if you see 3 ads, you can call them, and
And they're gone already. I've seen that.
irrelevant. It's amazing. So 2 bedrooms we can rent in around I'll tell you in NIS, and you will make it in dollars, 4,400 shekel.
So about 1,200 US dollars a month,
Yeah.
approximately. Okay.
Yeah. And 3 bedrooms around 5,000, no less than that. And 4 bedrooms, it can also get to 6,000 shekel. I mean, no less than 5.6, 5.7.
So there's certain buildings that are going to be just rentals, and not for sale.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Could I ask a
I said,
question?
because you said at the beginning, maybe some of the people here in this webinar, they want to buy it by now as investors, but maybe later we want to live there or sell it and buy somewhere else. So they should know there is a big demand of
I
rent,
know, huge
and
demand.
we don't have apartments. We don't have. It's
Okay,
amazing.
Gary, you had a question?
Thank you. I'm not experienced in buying off plan. What is the payment scheme like? Meaning, how much are you paying up front, and what proportion are you paying as it's being built and when the building is complete?
So, Liat, we're asking about the payment schedule. What is required if somebody wants to buy an apartment in
Yeah.
this project? What is the process?
Listen,
How much money do you need to put down now?
I'll tell you. I don't know when you will let me know that you already want to take an apartment, but right now I have 3 more apartments in the terms of 15% you pay right now, and all the rest within 4 years without any הצמדות.
Index. Okay, let me just stop
no
there for
interest
1 second. I
yeah.
just want to explain because I never covered this. In a new construction in Israel, you have this, you put down a certain amount in the beginning, and then you pay the rest in either linear payments or at the end. And some of the developers charge, well, it's the money that is owing is linked to what's called the madad, which is the CPI, the inflation. So those are the building costs, anything to do with building supplies. So the developer and the buyer are both responsible, and they split that in half. So for example, if you put down 20% and you had 80% to pay at the end, 40% of your money would be linked to an index. But what Liat is saying is that they are not they are including that index in the price. So what you pay for the apartment and what you agree to is what you're going to pay. It's not going to be linked to inflation. Is that correct, Liat?
It's correct, and it's very, very unique nowadays. I mean, we don't have it in the last 2 years. Have you seen these terms, Kim? In the last 2 years, they didn't have it.
And it's amazing that you guys are doing
Only at
that.
the beginning. I mean, it's only for the 10, 15 first apartments.
Buyers.
We have 3 more, to sell on these terms exactly. Afterwards, we still have good terms, but it won't be 15, it will be 20%. We still have with no interest for the whole 4 years, but will be 20%. So
That's very good.
Those
Okay, we
who
can talk
rush can-
individually. Gary, we can talk individually, about
It's
this.
fine. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, and we can
Thank
talk
you.
individually about this because it will depend on which, if you decide to buy, which unit you'd want to buy.
Yeah.
Liat, are we like, because I want to invite two of our guests to speak as well. So we are going to happily send to people all the information. We can also make one-on-one phone calls. We can do a Zoom presentation with each individual person who's looking to buy, because obviously everybody's got different budgets and different needs. But the point that this is that for tonight is that we are offering pre-sale opportunities. You are not going to get this again because the prices are going to go up. And Liat
and
her
it's
team
really
also,
it's really true. I mean, there's no way you will come within 1 month and you will see those prices we show you now. No way, no way, no way. Kilo, no way. Well, people who
so
buy it now,
it
they
is an
got the
incentive
prices now.
to if you can do it and you're able to do it, then this is definitely something that you guys should really consider. And again, because we know Israel very well, we've done so much research. And why have I come back to Carmei Gat? Because I believe in it as a community. I've seen the growth, I've seen the investment opportunities, as well as the most important, I've seen the growing Anglo community, which is the most important thing here. So I think it's an excellent opportunity to get in as soon as possible. Leah, thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you. You can
I
have my
really
phone from
appreciate
me
it.
all.
And
You
I
can
wish
have
that I spoke Hebrew as well as you speak English, because you're amazing. Thank you
you
so
are
much.
going to speak Hebrew too. You should come to Israel and speak Hebrew too. We will do it.
Well, I have been here for 20 years, but anyway, my last thought, as we say. Okay, so thank you so much, and
Thank you. Goodbye.
so patient, and thank you for your time. Lior, thank you so
Okay.
much. If you have to go, I understand. And again, be safe, everybody.
Oh, our
Yeah,
hero.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I also go. Thank
Thanks
you very
so
much.
much.
Thanks.
Okay,
Bye
Bye.
bye.
oh,
Bye.
hello
Thank you, Leah.
guys. Hello. Oh my
Bye.
gosh, look at
ליאור,
you.
איזה גיבור אתה, ליאור. למות עליך,
Bye.
למות.
Isn't it
רגע,
amazing that we're talking to one of our real estate colleagues and he's in Millowim. It's just so awesome, unbelievable. Okay, so now I'm going to ask, thank you so much, Liat. I'm going to ask our two special guests who have come on, who are currently residents of Carmei Gat. Yoni has been patiently waiting. Hi, Yoni.
Hi, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
How are you? Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'll introduce myself. I was born and raised in Israel. I immigrated in my late 20s to the States to pursue my electrical engineering computer science degree. And I built my family with my wife in the States, and we still have a home in West Orange, New Jersey. And gradually we had our returned to Israel as a family in the beginning of 2020, although I started the planning and the preparation for Aliyah move back in 2014, I believe. Yes, late 2014. We were here for my youngest son, Bar Mitzvah, and I was introduced to Carmei Gat. And it was all open land and, flat land, I have to say, but it was all open, not much in the area. And a family relative who was in the marketing real estate told me, listen, if you have some money to spare, invest in Carmei Gat. So
Wow.
with my vision of not just investing in real estate in REITs, I decided to make a little gamble and invest in a real estate property. And we bought a unit here in Carmei Gat, and in a very gradual process, because we were not young, not me, not my wife, and not the children. It's not like we can pack them and leave. So each and every one of the family member found a path and made Aliyah and integrated in Israel, and we're all here now. And this is our from 2020, late 2020 and 2021. So it's our 4+ year in Israel in Carmei Gat, and we are very, very happy. Now, something that I wanted to add to the, Leah touched on this before, but especially to foreigner who don't really understand and familiar with the real estate market in Israel, there is something called an umbrella agreement. And Carmei Gat was the first one in the country. And I believe it started in 2012, if I am correct. And even if you follow politics, the head of the opposition party now was the finance minister those years. And they collaborated together and decided to create this umbrella agreement to invest in specifically in the periphery parts of Israel and build housing and affordable housing for the most part to people who would want to buy, whether they are new immigrants or people that live in Israel or already. And the value added that it adds to someone who wants to buy a real estate property is that the infrastructure component, whether it's the electrical lines, whether it's the sewage, the water, the fiber optics cables, and all of this infrastructure is really built as part of the development of the area. Like the train station, for example, the transportation. All these things are taken from the perspective of the cooperation between the government of Israel, the county, and the municipality, and the zoning and the planning, and the ratio between high rises to low rises to private homes and so forth is kept very, very well, such that there's not really a lot of congestion. I mean, but now there is some, I have to admit, because it grew so much. But at least the planning, the designer, the architects planned in such a way that there will be a ratio that will kept the population and the traffic jam and so forth manageable. So that's a very, very important issue to remember. And now, 2.5 weeks ago, the Prime Minister announced phase 2, which was mentioned here again, Eskem Gag Shnayim, the umbrella agreement. So they are expanding to the northern part of Carmei Gat, and there's going to be another section in the western part of Carmei Gat, to the point where about 21,000 units are going to be built. So think in the next 5, 6, 7 years, I don't know exactly how many, they're going to reach a population of over 100,000, maybe 120, 130,000 people. That's a big city, and it needs a lot of infrastructure. So that's something that the designers and the planners are thinking of, and that's very, very good in comparison for the population. Or in comparison, there are two primarily programs in Israel that are approved by the legal system. One is called Pinui Binui, which in loosely Hebrew translation means you vacant and then you replace the building. So think, for example, in the middle of a city in the center of Israel, there's a house that is crumbling, 4 or 5 story house, 50, 60, 70-year-old building that is crumbling, but the land is very, very important. So some developers can get a permit if they convince the tenants to go live somewhere else when they demolish the house and they build a high rise of 25 stories in the same exact location, because it doesn't really matter. It's the same square footage of the building, but it goes up in the sky. And then all of a sudden there are traffic jams and more traffic and more people are living in the same location. And that's happening a lot and create a lot of congestion in the center of the country. You don't have it here in Carmei Gat. That's a very, very valuable. And another thing that I wanted to mention that was talked about is the fact that you can walk a lot. And now it really depends on your personality. I walk a lot. I have bicycles. I have electric bicycles that I import with me from the States, for me and for my families. But you really, I mean, it's nice to have a car, especially in the winter when you have to do shopping, but you can manage quite a bit with a wagon, with a shopping cart, with bicycles like I do, and it's really local. I don't know exactly how the second phase is going to look like. We only have some pictures over here. I can't form an opinion, but they build a shopping center, a mall, what is called in English and in Hebrew. In Israelis call it a mall, and you can. I walk. My wife walks and we do our shopping, and the shopping cart and come back to where we are. And we live in the southernmost part of Carmei Gat, which is really border Route 35, which is the divider between the old city and the new neighborhood of Carmei Gat. So it's really very manageable. And
That's
now I can
amazing.
answer some questions if you have. If not, I enjoyed the show.
Yoni, thank you so much. I'm sorry it went on a little bit long, and I know that it's already been over an hour. We tried to keep the
No, it's
Zooms an
fine.
hour, but thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. And
You're very welcome.
it's so nice also to see different types of people living in Carmei Gat. And that's what I love about the community, is that it really is a melting pot of all different types of people. And I've heard that from people living there, that it's just very, very welcoming, non-judgmental, and just a place for everybody. So thank you again for your time.
You're
Much
very welcome.
appreciated. And if anybody wants to be in touch with you, is that okay?
Um,
Maybe I'll speak to you one-on-one if anybody wants Yoni's number. We'll talk about it. But Yoni, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. Good night
Much
to you.
appreciated. Good night.
Take
Laila
care.
Tov. Good
Laila
night.
Tov.
And sorry to rush everybody. I wanted to introduce you to our fabulous lawyer, real estate lawyer Yitzhak Teller, who is an incredible lawyer. And I've been working with him for many, many years. And I just wanted him to come on and introduce himself, because if you are looking to purchase a property, he is your man. And Yitzhak, where are you?
Hi, you hear me?
Ah, there you
You
are.
hear
He's
me?
been so patient.
Okay, so I really won't take a long time of your time. I'll just, first of all, if you started already your journey with Kim, you're already on the right path. What I will say is, because he already gave you so much information, I will just explain why it is important when you're buying such a significant, important purchase in your life. It is important to take a lawyer. So first of all, the lawyer makes sure that everything, even though Kim is one of the most honest agents you can find, but there is many out there, and whatever, even if Kim sells you something, you want to make sure that in the little dots, you're getting little words, you're getting everything they promise they do. And the second thing is to make sure your finances is guaranteed. And really, when you're from overseas, you want to make sure that you have your man on the ground to follow up and to make sure to get you the financing and to be your power of attorney to make sure everything goes according to the agreement and according to what they say, and have your back. And obviously, besides the fact of negotiating, reporting the transaction to the tax authority, so I'm really just your guy on the ground. That's what I'll say. And if there's and also obviously, as you mentioned, there's different tax brackets if you're an ole, if you're not an ole, but that will be spoken individually when it gets to where you are. And going into when you buy in a new project, you have two sets of documents. You have the spec documents and you have the legal documents. So the legal document, obviously, we go through thoroughly, but the spec, we go through it, but this is a side note that I don't think you mentioned. It's always recommended when it's a new development to have someone like a designer or someone like that to look at it, to make sure you know what you're getting in the detail exactly. So that's more or less what I won't take more of your time. And when we get to that stage, I'm happy to speak to each one individually and get to know you and guide you through the process. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. Yitzhak, thank you so much for staying on. And I just want to say that also, if anybody would like to be in touch with Yitzhak, I'm happy to pass on his details. I say most important in any of this transaction is your lawyer. Your lawyer is your best friend. They're the ones that are going to make sure that it's a safe deal for you, and really are there to guide you every step of the way. So thank you, Yitzhak, for coming on. Much appreciated. I'm sorry you had to wait so long to talk.
Thank you.
Okay.
No
and I know
problem.
we're losing people because it's getting late. And another amazing person who's come on tonight is Talia, who's been waiting so patiently. who's just moved to Carmei Gat about a year and a half ago. Talia, are you on?
Yeah. Hi. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much. I'm sorry it's so late.
It's okay. It's
Okay,
okay.
so just if you can tell us where you're from and how long you've been living
Sure.
there for.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Talia. I am originally from New York, the Five Towns, Woodmere. I don't know what people know, so I mention it all. But I made Aliyah around 7 years ago, after I got married, and I moved like four times since I've made Aliyah. So I've been kind of around the country. I've seen a few communities and how they work. I was in Modi'in for a little bit. I was in Zichron Yaakov for a little bit. I was in Cheshmonaim for a little bit right when I got married. And funnily enough, Kim, I actually went on your first Carmei Gat Zoom meeting, I think 4 years ago.
Oh my
Which was,
gosh, wow.
yeah,
Okay.
which was one of the reasons I thought it would be nice to do the same thing because I got a lot out of it, and I was like, it'll be full circle. So yeah, so we moved about I think last August, so really like about like a little like a few like a little bit more than a year. And like I said, we've been in a couple places. We were in Modi'in right before here, and I absolutely love it here. It took me a while. Like I think also Kim mentioned, like no matter like if you're in a home, it really matters about your community, and I couldn't agree with that more. It takes making Aliyah is like crazy, like it's amazing, but it's a crazy experience. And one of my biggest struggles or my biggest fears, I think, was finding someplace that I would feel like I belonged where I felt like people were like-minded and I would want to raise my kids around and like because I think that's something everyone thinks about. And Carmei Gat has just been that place for me. There's just I've never like I really have real people here who I can connect to on so many different levels, ashkafa levels, just like even age levels. I've always felt either that I was too young or too old. I'm 28 now, but like I just it's like a very like and you said there's even people that are in their 60s or like higher, but like there's just so many people that are around our same stage of life. Everyone's has like two, three, four kids. Everyone's in young school age. We kind of feel like we're building this community together. Everyone's kind of the school here, like the oldest grade is third grade right now. And like every year it's like just going another, everyone's kind of like in it together, which is like another really nice feeling. It feels you're kind of like pioneering this community together and everybody has like a very like go-to attitude that's very inspiring. Like you just feel like you want to like be a part of it and do things and be a part of the community and the shuls and start things. Like I've started so many things that I just feel like you little mommy and me is like I teach piano around here. Like there's just things always happening and people are always just like giving back, I guess, to the community in some way. And it's a very warm, endearing place. And there's things happening all the time for parents because it's a very parent child-centered community. I don't know if anyone's like mentioned that, but it's a very like young family vibe of a place. And what else did I want to say? Everyone mentioned that everything is right. I happen to be I'm right. I think Liat was her name. She mentioned like the Sport Tech. I live right across from the Sport Tech, and we live also right next to there's a big shopping center that they built recently called The Big. It's called The Big, and it's like changed so many people's lives here in Carmei Gat. It's so convenient. Like everything, like I remember everyone saying you don't need a car, but you really don't need a car. You can like I walk my kids to Gon. On the way back, I stop by the grocery store. I stop by the bakery next to my house. I get a coffee on the way home. I can walk to the doctor. I literally like I walk my kid to OT therapy. Everything is literally right around. And it's so, I don't know, it's such a nice, I think, way to live. It's just nice that you can just be outside. Like it just gives you, I don't know, it's just a very like it feels like you're kind of part. It also makes you really part of the community. You're walking, you see people, hi, hello, like everyone kind of knows each other, even though it's like growing so much. It kind of gives like a small town feel. Like I feel like I know so many people as I'm like walking by and like I just love it. I think it's so like such a warm feeling. I finally feel like I know people and it's super nice. Like they literally just 2 nights ago in the Sport Tech, they had like since people are moving here literally constantly, like every summer, there's just like a whole wave of new Olin people coming straight, making Aliyah straight to Carmei Gat. And I'm always like, not that I'm jealous of those people, but I'm like, I feel like they skipped so much of my like steps of just trying to figure out where to go when you make Aliyah. And people come here directly and they're so happy. They're like, and I'm like, that's so cool that you just like came here and like you like immediately felt so secure and like you had such a supportive community. Like it's such a, it's not like an overrated thing. It's like a bracha. I think it's really cool. But they had like so they have every so often they have to have like they had like a women's meeting, everyone meeting each other because like it happens so often that people just come and it's just like an icebreaker. They had like cheese and wine and it was just like such a sweet thing that I went to. They're just constantly doing these kinds of things. And there's like I know Liat mentioned like different kinds of shuls, but Knesset, there's already break-offs, things are already happening because like Baruch Hashem, like it's just growing. There's so many people, there's so many, it's just like there's physically like just not enough room for like one shul anymore. And I think that's natural and amazing.
But I want to say just to thank you so much. I want to just
Yeah,
mention
sure.
what's happening, I think, as well, is that because a lot of younger families are making Aliyah, young couples are making Aliyah to Carmei Gat, what's happening now, and this is the trend, is that those families, parents, are starting to buy apartments and also move into the community. So you do have not an older population, but the
No, yeah, you
parents
have,
of all, you know,
yeah,
you have that as well. Because a lot of people will say to me, oh, but I only heard it's for young people. That is not
no,
true
it's not.
at all. Okay. So unfortunately, we had a lot more people signed up to come and talk tonight, but they had other commitments. But there is a wide range. I cannot stress this enough. There is such a wide range of people living in Carmei Gat, and again, at all different religiosities as well. And I just wanted to mention, we had Liat on here and Lior, who are representing the new phase of Carmei Gat. However, we have also, it's very important, we also have apartments, secondhand and new construction in Carmei Gat itself. We have several apartments that will be ready in 2026 that are ready to go in the next year, as well as in the next 2 years in the first phase of Carmei Gat. So if your timeline is that you don't necessarily want to be the pioneer of phase 2, they will be a little bit more expensive, phase 1, because it's already a developed community, but we definitely have inventory if you're interested in Carmei Gat phase 1, if you want to call it. So I just wanted to reiterate that. But Talia, you're so gracious and so lovely to come on, and I can see how much you love living there. And you were so lovely when I asked you if you wanted to talk. You said absolutely. So I'm so glad, and I really, really have to tell you, I really do love the community, and I've met so many, and we've had the privilege to sell to so many incredible people that are living there. So thank you so much for your time. I'm going to open it up. Talia, if you have to go, I totally understand if you want to stay on for questions, but I'm going to open it up to anybody who wants to ask questions. It's already 10:25, which we've gone on a little bit too long. I'm sorry. But if anybody does want to speak, I'm going to open up the floor to anybody. And those of you who have to go, be blessed, take care of yourselves, and be safe. And remember that Israel is the home to every Jew, and we're waiting for you with open arms. So thank you very much for everybody who was on the call. And now I'm opening it up to everybody.
Hi,
Anybody
Kim,
have any
thank
questions?
you so much for doing this. Question for you.
Hi, Leon.
Hi, how are you? I actually recently heard about Carmei Gat, so I'm not too familiar with it. 2 questions. As far as the area itself, religious-wise, do you know how? I mean, I understand you said, and you mentioned it's a mixed area, but like as far as synagogues, as well as like religious-wise, how religious is it? It's a mix. And then second of all, as far as work-wise, the people that live there, do they mostly work in the area, or do they travel to Tel Aviv or other cities?
Okay, so it's a very good question, and I'm going to answer as much as I know, and then I can also open up, maybe Talia knows a little bit, and Bracha Miriam has also been selling, who works with me. So in terms of religiosity, it is mixed, but it has a lot of, most people that I know that we have sold to are all Shomer Shabbat. Okay, everybody, but I'm talking about whether somebody's wearing black and white or somebody's in colored shirts, somebody's wearing kippah sugar, knitted kippahs, or black kippah. It is very, very mixed. What is very evident is the strong Zionist feeling, if that's the right word to use. Very, very, love Israel. just they've come, they love being, but it's definitely a Shomer Shabbos community. But are there secular people living there? Yes, there are lots of little shuls and bigger shuls that are now happening. As I said, one of the big the shuls is they were davening in a school. Talia, where does your husband daven?
So like you said, really there is one main shul, Carmei Gat, that most of the Anglos go to. But like I said, there was a breakaway minyan that really recently kind of is happening just because it's not, Carmei Gat also isn't near everybody. Like there are people that are, it's like a 10-15 minute walk, which isn't crazy, but there's a lot of people. There's another shul just right now, it's literally round robin in people's like D-road, like apartments and things like that. So like we switch off Friday night. If it's closer, we'll go to the break off minyan. Sometimes in the day he'll go to Carmei Gat, but and then there's a lot of like Sephardi shuls. Like I would say they're like the one big Ashkenaz, but there's actually a lot more options if people daven Sephardi.
Sephardi.
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of the second question, a lot of people are commuting to Tel Aviv from Kiryat Gat, which is the train station. There's a lot of people that are going to Tel Aviv. And there is going to be Intel. I think there's going to be a very big there's going to be a lot of job opportunities coming up in the area as well. But a lot of people are commuting. Is that the correct thing to say? Like a lot of people are commuting, Talia?
Yeah, a lot of people, most of my husband's friends, they all commute to Tel Aviv. Even the women, they all commute to, it's either work from home and commuting to Tel Aviv. Some even work in Jerusalem. They'll drive an hour and 8 minutes. I think the exact time on Waze is an hour and 8 minutes to Yerushalayim. But there's also the trains are really good. The trains are really like I find that the time that you spend on the train was the same for Modi'in that it is here. It's really like not a big deal at all.
Yeah. Also, just so people know, it's about half an hour. Half an hour drive to Ramat Beit Shemesh, 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's like 35-minute drive. Yeah.
Okay. So Bracha Miriam is one of our top agents and works a lot in Carmei Gat, has sold a lot of real estate there. And so she drives a lot down from Ramat Beit Shemesh to Carmei Gat. And Marilyn, you had a question.
Yeah, this is Marilyn Shmuel. Hi, thank you very much for your
Hi.
presentation. It's a very nice presentation. It's very interesting. A couple of questions. First of all, are there Mahadrin restaurants and stores in Carmei Gat? And another question is about the weather. If it gets humid, or like how does it work out for the different seasons?
Okay.
If you wanted to walk from the old Carmei Gat, from the old Kiryat Gat, my sister's going to live there. That's what I'm asking.
She's in the original in Kiryat Gat itself?
Not yet. They bought and they're renovating a house there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they're bigger properties in Kiryat Gat, because those are the older properties. I'm not sure of the exact time of how long it would walk. In terms of Mahadran, I know there's for sure, like in the supermarkets, you can get any like what you would buy in Jerusalem, because it's all the same companies. In terms of restaurants, I would have to find out for you directly if it is. It's a very good question.
There
are? Oh,
it's
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of, again, in the big mall that I was talking about, there's a bunch of new restaurants, and also down by Risdor, the industrial area, and there's definitely at least, first of all, there's a couple dairy Mahadran places, but there's at least definitely one meat Mahadran place that's right next to me. And there's also in Kiryat Gat, which is like a 5-minute drive, maybe even less. We have it not even in Kiryat Gat, it's next to Kiryat Gat, again, a 2-minute drive. It's like a little moshav that's like a Haredi like moshav. It's very sweet, very cute, and people go there to do like what they quote unquote like their Heimish kind of shopping. Like they have a beautiful Judaica, and they have a really they have a supermarket that carries very, very like Mahadran products there, so people will go there for specific things all the time. So you definitely have access to those things here for sure.
And again, I think that as more and more people move in, that kind of availability will automatically, there'll be more and more available. That's what I've seen in all the new areas. So it really depends on how many more, if you want more Mahadran restaurants, that will eventually come. That's what I do believe as well.
The question also includes included climate.
Oh, Gary, hi, how are you doing?
That's fine,
Okay.
but Mr. Stock also asked a question I was about to, which was about the climate, humidity, dryness,
It is, I
rocky,
mean,
agreement. So tell it, and I realize it's in southern Israel. I don't know how far it is from the desert.
well, you are south, okay, so it is hot. I would say that is it as hot as Ramat Beit Shemesh? I don't think so, but it is hot there. It's not as hot as Tiberias, but it's Talia, are you on still?
Yeah, it's hot. It's again, but I'll tell you the truth. Like I lived in Modi'in, and Modi'in was just as hot. The way I look at it, I think if you're not in Jerusalem or like in the Gush, like those are the places that you're gonna get like cooler weather. I really think anywhere else you are, it's kind of gonna be the same hot. That's what I've experienced. So I don't think it's like dramatically hotter than other types. Like I think it's just as hot as Modi'in was, just as hot as any of those places right now.
Presumably the air is dry rather than humid.
Correct.
Okay.
Maybe. Right now it's 10:30 at night. It's 67 degrees.
We're having actually a very late, I cannot believe the weather, even in Jerusalem. It's like summer days still. It's for November, it's hot. I like the hot weather. I'm South African, so for me, the hotter the better.
Natalia, you
Anyway.
said that, I mean, you're from New York and you know humidity in the summer. Is it like that in the summer, the humidity? I don't mind the heat.
It's not super humid. I don't find it super humid. That's not the first thing I would describe it as. It's hot. Like, and it's hot for most of the year. Like, definitely, like I miss the seasons as a New York girl, that's for sure. But again, that's just, I think, Israel in general. But like I said, I just feel like anywhere I've been in Israel has felt the same. I don't feel drastically hotter here than I did in other places. Everyone really invests in their air conditioner here. Like I'm not even joking. Like we spend the most on our air conditioner, and it's just a different priorities, different ways to live. It's just what you do. But yeah.
Thank you very much.
And Michal had a question.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, did I get my video on?
Yes.
Hi. Oh, sorry. Hi. I was just wondering regarding teens. Coming with teenagers. Well, not quite. My oldest is 13, and I'm just wondering, are there teenagers there? Are there any Anglo teenagers, or it's still quite young? And if so, where do they go to school?
That I'd have to find out. I don't know if Talia knows, but I'd have to find out from. There are definitely teens there.
There's definitely
but which
teens.
school?
Yeah, look, I'm not again like my son is 2 years below like first grade, so I'm not like totally in the school system yet, so I don't know exactly, but I know that there's that I know that I was talking about third grade that was like the place that's here like directly in Carmei Gat. I know that people send like also like right around Carmei Gat, like not exactly in the community, but again, I can't speak. People like definitely travel out to other schools that are nearby, like because there are older teens. Like I have babysitters, like they come. I'm not sure exactly where they are. I'm sure like I can try to connect you with people that would know.
Yeah, we will find out for you. You'll just send me a message and I'll connect you from our previous calls as well. Those people that were going to come on the call are unfortunately not on the call. I can't give you the exact names of the schools, but we can help also with Nefesh B'Nefesh. They will have a list of all the different schools in the community.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. And Joni, you had a question.
Shalom, yes. My husband, I've been to Israel. I was there for 6 months way back in 1985. And for all those wondering about the weather, I live in California, and the weather's very much the same as California weather, if anybody's ever been there. And we have like Death Valley, which would be like the Negev. And basically it's, just that same hot, dry heat. And the seasons. No seasons, right. So we're a desert climate, but the weather's very similar. So we do have a little bit of humidity like in the winter, but it's not horrible. It's very comfortable. And I grew up in Buffalo, New York, so I know humidity and snow. And I'd much rather live in a desert climate that like Israel or California. So let me just put it that way. The other thing is,
I agree with you. I agree. I like hot weather. So for me, it doesn't bother me, but I understand that it can get very, very, very hot. I have family that live in Tiberias. You couldn't
yeah.
pay me. You couldn't pay me to live there. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like 50 degrees in the summer. It's so hot.
Mhm.
So it does get hot in Carmei
Mhm.
Gat, but I don't think to such, like unbelievably unbearable temperatures.
No, and no snow is wonderful. I don't miss that at all.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I'm not a snow person. So are you thinking of making Aliyah, Joni, or are you just thinking of investment?
Well, at this point, my husband's never been to Israel, so I've talked about my experience. I was in Volunteers for Israel when I was there back in '85, and I was 25 years old. And we have a 34-year-old son who lives in San Francisco. So at this point, we're still undecided about moving to Israel. But with everything going on since October 7th, I've been extremely pulled back. And I feel on the verge of tears whenever I even think about it, because my heart goes out to all the Israelis that are just surviving every day and just praying for this to come to an end in a good way, of course.
Yeah.
And
Listen,
so,
we're not living in it's very, very, very hard. I think anywhere you go in the world right now, the rise of anti-Semitism is
yeah.
it's very hard to see. It doesn't matter if you're in Europe or in America. The world is changing. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that and I tell people that even if Aliyah is not on the cards, but you can secure yourself a place in Israel, it will be the best investment you'll ever make. And it doesn't necessarily mean financial. It means emotional and spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
because there is again that this is our homeland. And I really
Mm-hmm.
feel like that. So I think that again, if you got money to invest and you can do it, then you should do it. And I think that there's no greater mitzvah or blessing that you can do is to own a property in Israel.
My question to you then is, could you recommend an Airbnb where we could at least just get started, so I could at least let my husband see what it's all about? He's only heard my stories and seen my pictures. And
Well, I would be delighted to help you. Send me a WhatsApp, and I think that you should definitely bring your husband and spend 2 weeks touring the country.
okay, what is your number on WhatsApp?
I sent it on our group chat. Oh, do you see the group chat?
Let's see. Whoops.
Did it come on?
Oh, yes, I see.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Do you
I'll
have an
just
email?
repeat my number. Yeah, it was on the Zoom, but my you can also Google me, but it's kim@kimbashrealestate.com. And my phone number from wherever you're calling, the area code 972
Mm-hmm.
5444
Mm-hmm.
15704.
Okay, thank you. And also
But
something that
there's some great opportunities in Airbnb, but I would look at planning a whole trip where you can actually get to experience the whole country.
well, my husband, since COVID, he can work from anywhere. And he's in management. Half the time he's on the phone with Germany and other countries. So I'm so excited about this. This has just been such a wonderful experience, because before that he had to go into the office in San Jose. So
I
my
think
question,
that's one thing that good came out of Corona. Only one thing is that people, and
right.
you didn't have to be geographically located, to work,
Mhm.
and people understood that. So
Mhm,
yeah.
exactly. So I guess we're excited. Another area that interests us, and maybe you could help us, is Bat Yam
Yeah.
and Tel Aviv area. And I was in Netanya and I loved that there. And of course, I was there so long ago, 40
You're
years
going to
ago.
be very surprised. The whole city's changed.
I-
But those are different. Listen, if I'm talking about buying, but those areas, Bat Yam, Netanya, Tel Aviv, are very, very expensive. You're not going to be able to, in terms of, I don't know your financial situation, but those are already established areas, and they are at a much higher price point in terms of buying.
Mhm. We only really need a 1-bedroom though, because we would just get a sofa bed for our son if he came out with his wife and, eventually if he has family. But at this point, we just need a 1-bedroom to just get started over there and experience the life and be part of everything. Do you have 1-bedrooms in your community there?
I mean, we listen. What I do is I am, we sell and work in real estate all over Israel. So depending
Mhm.
on when you want to come, I would connect you with people who are rental agents who can help
Okay.
you.
Because
But be
also
in
we'd be
touch.
in like a long-term rental, so we could travel and it would be our home
Sure.
base, but we could, I'd like to get him to Haifa. And my kibbutz that I was on was Sodot Yam and up near Caesarea. And I lived in Jerusalem in the old city for 6 weeks, and I studied in yeshiva.
Wow,
and
that's where
I mean,
I live.
oh, wow. Okay. It's
But
special.
yeah, amazing. What I just want to say to you, you just mentioned Sdot Yam. I actually have my first cousin lives on Sdot Yam kibbutz.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah, it's a beautiful, for those of you who don't know, it's a very beautiful kibbutz right in Caesarea. It has its own private beach. It's one of the wealthier kibbutzim in the area, but it's really, really beautiful. Did anybody else have any questions? Ari, you've been waiting a
Thank
long
you.
time. Ari, are you on?
Thank you. Sorry, just turning on my camera.
Hey,
So I
Ari.
wanted to,
First of all, where are you
hi.
from? Are you?
So I'm originally from Hollywood, Florida, and I've been living in Washington, DC for the last 6 years.
So you didn't run away because all the New Yorkers are coming down now, right?
Well, I always thought about living in Florida, but with all the New Yorkers swarming there, I've been thinking about Israel instead. So, my question for Carmei Gat and for you, Kim or Talia, for the train to Tel Aviv, I wanted to find out how often those 35-minute trains come, and also when do you think the new station would be built? And then the other question would be how many people in their late 20s and early 30s go to Carmei Gat?
Well, first of all, the new train stop is probably only going to be extended once this new community is developed. So you're looking at probably 5 years for the in the phase 2. Right now with Carmei Gat, you travel to Kiryat Gat to catch the train. So in terms of the schedule, I'm sure that you can Google it and find out. But enough that people are traveling every single day back and forth. I do not think that you would have a problem. I can Google it and send it to you. A lot of my friends work in Tel Aviv that live in Carmei Gat, so it's definitely doable. And they probably, usually Tel Aviv starts a little bit late. Work starts like not 8 o'clock, usually starts around 9, between 9 and 10, and people usually work until about 6. So it's a little bit, gives people time to, it's kind of like Manhattan, actually, thinking about it. But it's definitely doable. And there are lots and lots of young people your age that are living in the community. I think that would be like Talia's 28. I would say the majority of people that I know that are living there, I would say are between 26 to 35. And then you've got the parents of those people that are coming there, which are in their middle to late 50s. And then we also have grandparents coming now as well. It's a growing community. It's not an Anglo bubble yet, good or bad. So I think it's got the most growth potential that I've seen in most communities. There's definitely other places as well. A lot of people have moved to, a few years ago, Harish, but that's a little bit further up. If you want and you can afford Netanya, it's also an amazing. There's areas in Netanya which have become more popular. Renan is always going to be a soft landing, but it's much more expensive. The beauty of Carmei Gat is the price point and the affordability of the area.
Okay, so I'm also trying to compare shuls. So the reason for the Carmei Gat question also is I wanted to compare Carmei Gat to the Berman Shul in Rehovot.
Oh, in Rehovot. So it's nowhere near. The Berman Festival, Rehovot, and those of you who want to watch my Zoom I did on Rehovot a few years ago, you can look on my YouTube channel. Those are established communities. Rehovot is it's a university town. It's a academic, a lot of professors, a lot of university students living there. It's a different ball game. Rehovot is a well-established city. Carmei Gat is a new city, a new experience. So you cannot compare it. You cannot.
And what about comparing it to Kiryat HaSharon in Netanya?
Kiryat HaSharon. Again, Kiryat HaSharon is those of you who don't know where Kiryat HaSharon is, that's in Netanya. It's about 20 minutes from central Netanya, about approximately. It's also got a lot of young families. Again, a different price point. That is more established. It's probably, I would say, a good, I don't know if I'm 100% accurate in saying this, probably about 5 to 7 years ahead of Carmei Gat in terms of establishment. Again, if you want to listen about Kiryat Sharon, you can listen to it on my YouTube channel as well. We sell real estate all over the place. Like an apartment don't come in Kiryat Gat, sorry, not Kiryat Gat, in Kiryat Sharon, will start at around, for a 3-bedroom, about 2.8 million shekels to 3.2. Anything from 2.8 to 3.2 million shekels for the same size apartment that you would get in Carmei Gat.
Okay.
But if you're not necessarily the pioneering type, and I'm not saying Carmei Gat is for pioneering types, but I'm saying if you're not, it's still very new. I think that people coming to Carmei Gat are also looking to help build the community.
But
So
but
that's something
it's
that
really very established. I really wouldn't like, I don't think like if it scares people off, like it's really like, I feel like if you come now, it's already very, it doesn't,
it's
like you can
you've
still be
done
a
the
part of,
groundwork.
I'm
Yeah.
saying you still feel like you're a part of building something, but it's not like you're roughing it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
But in terms of, like, for example, somebody said to me, all the schools and this and that, it's
Yeah,
it's
they're
still growing.
growing. Yeah.
It's growing. But I think like anything, I'll just give you an example. Ramat Beit Shemesh, 25 years ago, there was nothing really there, new buildings. If you go into Ramat Beit Shemesh and Beit Shemesh now, it is a huge city. There are so many I mean, the school system, everything. It's just, it's unbelievable. And I really do believe that Carmei Gat is going to be the next Ramat Beit Shemesh. I'm not talking from a religious point of view. I'm just talking about from an infrastructure point of view and how it's built so quickly. And again, our job, I feel, what I do is I really want to try and, again, stress to make affordable housing opportunities available to people, to see what is out there. Because Israel, unfortunately, is very expensive no matter where you go. And even Carmei Gat is expensive. It's not a cheap city, Israel, wherever you go, but it is more affordable. Now, you can get more affordable if you want to move down south, even further to Beersheba. If you want to go up north as well, closer to the borders, you're going to get, the housing is going to be cheaper. So again, we feel this is like middle ground. And also the communities vary, and I'm not saying it's very normal, if you know if that's a word to use. It's not like, oh my gosh, you're going to Carmei Gat and it's like whatever. It's normal people like you and me. Talia, our 5 towns gal, is living in Carmei Gat. So, like I have clients that are in, like, that live in Jerusalem, that, like if you said that their children are going to live in Carmei Gat 5-6 years ago, they'd be like, what are you talking? Where's Carmei Gat? What is it? But it's a very normal thing. If I say Carmei Gat to people, it's like, oh, my cousin lives there, my uncle lives there, this one's moved there, that one's moved there. It is the fastest growing community in Israel right now. And that is why if I say to people, get your foot in the door, if you have the money to do it now, because you will not get these prices again. Okay. So
Okay. Thank you.
and Ari, please feel free to be in touch. Happy to have a one-on-one schmooze with you at any time.
Sounds
Anyway,
great.
I'm going to say Laila Tov to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate everybody's time. And I hope to see you in Israel soon.
Thank you so much.
Good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night.
Thank you very much.